Hey, welcome back to Happy Little Notaries. This is kind of exciting. I know it's been a hot minute, but we are finally, I'm back for at least the time to record this video. But I've been hard at work putting together some of the custom coded tools that I've been developing in terms of going, hey, I want it to do this. And so how can we make it do that? And that comes with code. And so in the link in the description, there is a QR code. No, not a QR code. That'd be weird. A link in the description to my new GitHub repository where you can get the latest version of whatever really cool custom tool that I spent my time developing. There's also a link to buy me a coffee. So if you get one of these tools, feel free to download it. Unfortunately, some of them will only work on Apple Silica. And yeah, there's a learning curve to setting up OFX, and I'm not gonna ever get there. So just diving in, let's quickly just look at some of the things you might find over in that DCTL and other place folder over there. One of the things that is a lot of fun is this one. There is both a DCTL version and this, if we go fancy, an OFX version right here. Oh, baby. You just drag and drop that. That isn't a DCTL, that is an OFX, but it only works on Apple computers. So we'll just reset that. But this is a contrast sat volume, and I'm probably going to do a video that kind of walks through what I was thinking with making this, but it is based off of a tool that I would use often right before like contour or any of my major contrast shaping tools. Is it lets me dial in, everything's locked to mid-gray, and you can gang up and say I only want it to do all together, or I can do them individually and all that over there. But what it allows you to do is quite simply is take the gamma control, and it kind of just pulls and pushes and bends your cube around in a really unique way. But then if you come back with the cyan gamma, it works in the opposite way. You see it's kind of pushing up, but then we just kind of just start walking this back, and now we're just getting and dialing it in. You can see, get that cyan mid-gray kind of where you want it. Red mid-gray doesn't change, it's locked and pivoted, and we're just going to kind of just get this to a happy place. But what it's doing is kind of just expanding these guys in a really unique way and boosting saturation in kind of a subtractive, and depending on how you use it, positive manner. Depends what you're going for, but you can really dive in and look. And the one that does a lot of work is this blue yellow, where you can kind of just pull him up a little bit and then kind of just pull him back. And I think, yeah, get that nice sharp boost to our yellows right there. You can see on and off, it does a huge amount of pulling out and stretching the saturation of an image, but in a kind of a nice clean way, and kind of just tweaking some of the things that have it going on, and you can kind of just pull and twist. You can see how it's just bending. If you watch in the cubie right there, let's go, boop, yellow mid-gray. You can see as we just dial that yellow mid-gray, you can see how it's just bending. It's holding the white and the black, but it's just bending and pulling the image around through the middle. Just a really fun exploratory way. So usually when I use this, it's set up my DRT, set up whatever I'm doing look dev wise, and then this tends to come in the gap right below it. And yeah, it does a lot of really large movements to the image. Set any color balance, and you look dev and do all that good stuff under it. So that's available both as a DCTL and OFX for Apple. The other one that everyone really has been wanting to know more about is the film projector sim. There is now an OFX version of that, because it was kind of just, as a DCTL, it's really unwieldy and you won't get frame rates. As an OFX though, and it's still getting tweaked, still getting modified, so the version that's up there, you get almost full-time playback, especially when I'm not running OBS. But it is the film projector sim, and it's now down living as an OFX. Unfortunately, it only runs on Apple, but that's okay. We can see what's going on here. It has a couple options right out of the gate of some settings that I've kind of set as presets. Whether they're true to their stock numbers, that kind of just depends on your running speed and the way in which you want to work things. Pass-through mode, I don't think I've activated print mode in the code for the NFX. That'll be a future update. But then layer mode kind of just changes. Like if we were to look at it, we've talked about this. We'll just put one straight in. It is red, green, and then blue, yellow, magenta. I'm going to have to do a whole video on this because you have to make sure that it is not enabling use for mixing when you on the node, in the node tree. And then it's a whole node tree to get to this point of designing this. But it does allow, if we kind of come back here, boop, 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 it does allow you to be able to click on use negative print and kind of shape. So this functions like the die simulator that we have from Thatcher Freeman. It's the same kind of concept of setting. Unfortunately, I don't have it where you can see the curves on the screen. You kind of just have to guess on that right now and the numbers of that. I'm going to work on that. It's going to take some time to figure that out. But the baseline presets, the ones that matter for a single layer are these. The other ones are automatic in the back end. But you can really shape a lot of aspects to it and kind of draw your own curves. I'm going to figure out how to put this curve on the screen. Have not gotten there yet. Been just working, but you can kind of just draw where you want that max density to be and allow things to shape. And it's all doing the same thing. So you can turn off alpha pass-through. You kind of need that for the projector, which is what is getting passed out. So that allows you to draw that projector light that's getting passed through the negative. So that is as an OFX for Apple computers, Apple Metal. It's running off of Metal for silicone, but it allows you a lot of fun things to really shape and draw that filmic interest. And as an OFX, it's running at near full. It runs at full frame rate at 4K, which compared to what it was doing before, this might actually be usable to grade an entire thing. And like it is, it's coming in as Blackmagic design. This is footage from there, coming out linear, and that's it. That's all the shaping. It's telling it this is where the tone curve is and all that. I really don't understand fully how it works, but it's getting closer to what I want it to be. We can do all these fun shaping things to change your exposure. This is kind of a linear exposure that I do down in here, and then how these things mix together is all mad science as well. You can raise it, kind of bleach it out a little bit, kind of tweak it. It is doing its own thing right there. So that's a fun one. That's there. The other one, the other tool that let's go find that clip. Here we go. This is another one that's up there in the OFX folder. So when Chroma Warp came out for Davinci Resolve, I complained that just by adding, if we were to look at the cube, just by adding a point and activating the Chroma Warp, it's going to do something to your image, whether you want it to or not. It's kind of just folding everything around in itself when it's doing it. And that's not nice. That's not fun. That's not what people want. And yeah, they say that it's only on edge cases of blue and things like that. But I took it upon myself to think, hey, wait a sec. What if we turn this off, because this shouldn't be there. So say you were in Chroma Warp here and working on it, and you said, I want, if we reset this, I want to take this blue, which is the rocking horse, and push it to red. You can see that's how that would work, and it does a pretty. It does it. And you can say, hey, I don't want. You can put a pin and say, I don't want it to affect the shirt, and I don't want it to affect the grass. And now you're going to come back in here and have to select this push and kind of work the chroma range to get that edge case around the edges, which it takes a little practice. And yeah, we're going to lose her pants, or her pants are going to be red jeans. We're getting a little bleed through on the wall. There's a little bit more push through the linear space. And I said, well, that's silly that it's going to do something weird to my footage. Like, for one, when am I ever going to use Chroma Warper? Am I going to ever do something this crazy, this aggressive? No, and that's probably why I'm never going to use it, because I have other tools like mononote shapers that I use all the time to take skin tone and just move it left or right, just very tweaked and very carefully. But I was like, as I was working on coding things, I was like, what if we just go crazy and make our own version of Chroma Warp and call it Hue Warp? Why not? And this is mostly just learning how to do OFX, so this is up there as well. But what it allows you to do is, if we reset this, you select your first point, which is, say, the chair, and you select your target. Let's make it the same red as her boots, and we have that enabled. I'm going to disable that one for now, and we're going to say what we want to do is we want to anchor the grass. So we want to select the grass out here. We don't want the grass to change. And then we also want to add up and add another mapping, and we want to anchor her shirt. So we'll set anchor and we'll pick her shirt. So now we've in effect done the same things that were done in Chroma Warp by selecting the grass, selecting her shirt. And now this allows us to say, from this blue to this red, how far, if we enable this, how far can we push? And we can actually push all the way around the circle and come back to 2. You're getting close to a full 360 around the color wheel. But just kind of pushing it up till you get it to that red hue that you want. Source range is kind of the same as the chroma range, where you're going to kind of tweak and affect things. And yeah, we have these set as anchors, so you're going to kind of have to just tweak how much grass is getting affected, and maybe make some tweaks. But you can see her shirt isn't getting changed, and it's doing about as good of job as the Chroma Warper did on pushing the colors. Yeah, the more you raise the source range, it goes all the way up to yanking all the colors towards that red. But you kind of just want to get it to as much as you want. But the thing that isn't happening is it isn't pushing through. Like if we looked at Chroma Warp, this fence is very achromatic. But what I found with Chroma Warp is that it's really hard to not push it through. Like you would totally have to mask. Whereas with this, it's not really affecting achromatic things, because it's not selecting achromatic things. It's selecting a hue range and saying this hue range gets rotated around the wheel to the new place. And yeah, there is some bleed through. You can see if we zoom in, there's some edge artifacting. And that is all tweakable. Oops. So this is in its early days of getting work done. But you can see, like, if we were to do the same thing with that, there's still that same bluish halo around the edging from the Chroma Warp tool. And that would take some dialing in to even get it right without breaking it. Because we're anchoring our grass a little tightly. But anyways, so yeah, no gymnastics with this tool compared to the Chroma Warp. It is just working in it is just working in HSV space right now. I might change it to HSL, depends on what I want to do, but you can add up to 8 mappings of things that you want to add in, or just shut it all down, and it kind of freaks out at 1. I might need to fix that, or then it's only working in 1 mapping, but the default is 2. So that's up there as an effects you download off the GitHub. So a fun tool that I've been working on developing. Oh, and then a bonus. There is this other one. It's built into the contrast sat volume shaper. Let's see here. It's not in. It's in the DCTL version of the contrast sat form shaper. Let's see if I can find that in here. And what is it doing? It is this volume curve frequency adapter. Let's show that volume curve. So what it does is it allows you to set a frequency range. And I would set that very low to around 2. And then it sets a curve that you can adjust where that pivot point is.
Are you talking to me?
No, not talking to you at all.
Well, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to nobody, and I'm recording that. And then you can taper that down so it's only affecting a little bump in the low end in the shadows. And yeah, it has some fun little adjustments to that. We'll push back right there. Yeah. Anyways, those are some of the fun things that I have put up on GitHub that you can download, or if you feel up to it, you can also hop over and press buy me a coffee and get me a coffee, because I like coffee. Anyways, till next time, it's been a happy little no tree day.